My name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. So today starts something that is probably somewhat foolish on my part to undertake, but I've just had, when I was planning out over the Christmas break, back up. Over the Christmas break, I was starting to do some planning for the next couple of months and things that I wanted to do, and I realized that I just had a lot of videos around the end of the year / beginning of the year that I still wanted to do. So to that end, I am actually going to be making a video every day between now and Saturday. So Saturday will be my Project Poirot video as normal. I'm gonna have a video every day just doing some sort of end of the year reflections in addition to what I've already done. So I'm sorry if this gets repetitive, but I don't know, I just was really inspired to do some extra content as well as wrapping up my reading for December. So today's video is going to be the 2017 reading survey, and I saw this on Lala's channel. I believe she got it from the blog called Perpetual Page Turner, so I'll have that linked below. And this is just sort of a different spin on my reading for 2017. You're seeing this on New Year's Day, so Happy New Year. It's now 2018. So one last look back at 2017, and then we'll get into some forward-looking things soon. So let's get into this. So the first two questions are, how many books did you read and how many books did you reread? I ended up reading 160 books, and I ended up rereading right around 75. I'm gonna start tracking that better, so I'll have a better number next year. But yeah, so combined, it's about 235 books. So pretty good year. The next question is, did you meet your reading goal? Yes, I did. Usually I always kind of set my goal at about 100. I've done that for the last few years. I feel like that's a really reasonable kind of number to shoot for, at least for my reading pace. That's roughly 2 books a week. So I met that, and then some. We'll have the same goal next year and plan to meet that one as well. What was your most read genre? My most read genre was genre blends, so things that sort of straddle the line between traditional genres. Following that, though, I believe was mystery, romance, and nonfiction. That sounds right. That's a lot of sort of my comfort reads that I reach for a lot. Next was the longest and the shortest book you read. The shortest book I read was Dear Giowelle by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is, I think, about 63 pages. And then the longest book that I read was The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, which was over 1,200 pages. Yeah, that was a nice, long book about Hitler. The next question is, what was your favorite book published in 2017? And that was my favorite book of the year, which was Hunger. So favorite book of 2017 was the same as favorite book published in 2017. Next is, what was your favorite book not published in 2017? I'm going to say a tie. So one is Why We Get Fat by Gary Taubes. I think I put this at number 3 on my countdown. And then I'll also say Burn for Me because of the ones at number 2. I think that's the only one that was not published in 2017. So those are my favorites for older books, backlist. Next is, what is the best series that you started in 2017? I guess I'm gonna have to say 3. So one is the In Death series, obviously. I started that right at the beginning of the year, and that's one that will take me well into next year. And then in terms of 2 series that I both started and finished in 2017, that would be the Hidden Legacies series from Ilona Andrews and the Innkeeper's Chronicles by Ilona Andrews as well. Next is the best sequel of 2017, and neither of these were published in 2017. Killer Instinct in the Natural series. This literally is the sequel. It's the second book, and I actually think it's the best book in the series. So if I had to pick one, I'd say this. Best series ender of 2017. I didn't finish that many series, but of the ones that I did, I would say Wildfire by, you guessed it, Ilona Andrews. She's all over this list. Next is a book that lived up to the hype, and actually had a kind of a hard time thinking about what the answer to this should be, because I know I do read hyped books, but not all the time. Anyway, I decided to go with the In Death series just because that's a beloved one that is very popular, obviously, as evidenced by the fact that it is in its 45th installment, and I totally felt like it lived up to the hype, so I'll go with that. Next, a book that did not live up to the hype, I'm gonna go with one that was actually published in 2017 and one that was not. For the one published in 2017, for me, When Dimple Met Rishi did not live up to the hype. I did not enjoy that, as I talked about in my disappointments video wrap-up thing. And then, you guessed it, The Cursed Child, definitely the most disappointing book I read in 2017, even though it was not published in 2017. The fact that it's Harry Potter makes it very hyped. So yeah, definitely did not live up to the hype for my money. Next is the book that felt like the biggest accomplishment. One of them definitely is The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Like I mentioned earlier, it's definitely kind of like a doorstop of a book. So just like getting through that on such a grim subject matter felt like an accomplishment. And likewise, I'd say Eichmann in Jerusalem is just like a dense book that again is about a grim subject matter. So I think both of those definitely kind of felt like accomplishments this year. Favorite character of the year, I'm going to go with Eve Dallas from the In Death series. She is awesome. She is how I like my like kick-ass heroines to be, because I think sometimes that can get like not great and a little bit like manic pixie dream girl-ish, but I think she's just a super interesting character, very well-rounded, and I think that I see her growing over the books, which is what I find very exciting about her. Least favorite character of the year would be Raid from the book Raid. You saw my rant in my wrap-up. Don't like that guy. Read between the lines, Raid. Read between the lines. Favorite couple or OTP, I'm gonna have a tie between Rogan and Nevada from the Hidden Legacy series and Dallas and Diana from Wait For It, which was also on my wrap-up list, but I think both of those couples are super cute and ones that I was very happy to see get together. Favorite non-romantic relationship of the year goes to Eve and Peabody. Peabody is her Watson and their dynamic is hilarious. I really enjoy how uncomfortable Eve is with Peabody's romantic life and how she just gets so awkward about that. It makes me laugh a lot. Best written book of the year? Hunger Again. Book that I most pushed people to read this year. I think you probably know because you've seen me doing it, but Why We Get Fat and Hunger, I am, an evangelist for both of these books. Best book cover of the year. Now, I haven't finished the series. I haven't even finished the first one, and we'll talk about that in a video, I think, tomorrow. But I just think that these Darker Shade of Magic series covers are gorgeous and exactly like I love this style of cover. I wish more people would do this style of cover where it's very graphic and clean and just like interesting. I just love this. I think these are gorgeous covers. Next is favorite adaptation of the year. I can't say that I saw a lot, but I would say for like an actual book, the best adaptation that I saw this year was Hidden Figures. I thought that was very charming. And then from just like a comic series, Wonder Woman kicked ass. If Wonder Woman and Rey from the new Star Wars movies had been around when I was a little girl, I would have become an MMA fighter, like for sure. Love them, they kick ass. Least favorite adaptation of the year would definitely be the new adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express. I've got a video about my thoughts on that, but bottom line is not good. What book made you cry the most? Okay, there's kind of two ways I could take this. Like in terms of just like life-changing, realizing like I'm not crazy, I've just been doing the wrong things, was Why We Get Fat by Gary Taubes. Like that definitely made me cry. And then in terms of just like character schmaltziness, I would say Dear Erin from Mariana Zapata. Not one of her best books, to be honest, but it features like it's letters back and forth, and the heroine is like this really shy, nerdy girl, and the hero is a deployed armed service member, and there were several things in there that made me tear up because, my heart, I don't have a cold black heart. I'm human, okay? It takes, like, to be real with you guys, it takes nothing for me to cry. Like, a touching Hallmark card will make me cry. It takes nothing. So don't be too proud of yourself, either of those books, but yeah, those are the ones that come to mind. What book made you laugh the most? The one that comes to mind for me is The Duchess Deal, which is by Tessa Dare. I felt like there was some really, there's some pathos in there, but there was also just some real lighthearted kind of humor moments. That's the one that comes to mind, as well as the In Death series. Like I said, Eve and Peabody together make me laugh. Just their little dynamic is very funny to me. A new favorite author that I discovered this year, I'm gonna say Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Like, I'm really excited to maybe try some of her other series, and I really want her to write more naturals books. Please, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, please write me more. I want them. I want them. The best guilty pleasure book for me of the year? I guess I would say Wait For It. I would definitely put Mariana Zapata probably in what most people would think of as guilty pleasure reading. I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. Life is hard enough. Don't feel guilty about things you take pleasure in, but like, yeah, people tend to kind of turn their nose up at romance, so sure, let's say that. Favorite book that I reread this year? I'm gonna go with Poirot Investigates, just because I've been doing all those rereads for Project Poirot, and that is my favorite one so far, followed very closely by Murder on the Orient Express. So I really just like, several of those books were just a real joy to reread this year. That whole experience is my favorite rereading experience, and then Poirot Investigates is the top of that list. Were you happy with your reading year? Yes. When I looked back at my ratings, I had a higher than average rating, and I really feel like, I don't know, I just felt like when I look back, I read a lot of good books. I didn't read a lot of books that disappointed me, which is like good, unusual somewhat. And yeah, I just feel like it was a very productive year. I read more than I expected to, and I read with more variety than I had been reading for the last, like, maybe for 2016, I think I was sort of in a rut, and I feel like I've kind of branched back out and I'm like feeling myself a little bit more and getting back to sort of my roots of reading. So I feel like all of that is really positive. What would you do differently for 2018? Like I said earlier, I'm gonna have a video every day this week and the next two, so the ones on Tuesday and Wednesday are both kind of looking forward into 2018, so I'll get into more detail then. But suffice it to say, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how my reading's going. I don't feel a big need to like change things up radically, and yeah, like if I had another year like this year with reading, I'd be doing okay. So that is the 2017 reading survey. I know that this is a little bit repetitious from my wrap up, and there is some overlap in terms of the books I was talking about, but I was really inspired by the questions and I just wanted to make it. So since you're getting extra videos this week, I didn't feel like I was like stiffing you guys by giving you some repetitious content, and I had fun doing this. So honestly, that's what matters most. Sorry. But that will do it for today. I will be back tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. All that information is listed in the description box below. I don't think I have anything else I need to tell you guys right now. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful New Year's Day. Happy New Year's to you. Let's kick 2018's ass. And I think that will do it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye!